welcome everyone to the Grace Kid Podcast. Thanks so much for joining us today. We have quite an episode ready for you, but before we get into it, I have a special guest who will introduce himself.
My name is Kaleb, and I'm in 4th grade, and I'm 9 years old.
And Kaleb just had a football game today. How did it go?
Good.
Good.
We still lost by 1 touchdown.
Oh, did you pull a lot of flags today?
Yeah, I also got a catch. 1 catch to for our first touchdown.
Dude, that's awesome. Did you have fun?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, well, before we get into the lesson for today, we have a question of the day. But before we get into the question, last week we had a question that we want you to think about again. So the first one from last week was, what makes the best boys' night or girls' night? And our question for today is, what is your favorite thing to do in the fall? So ask whoever you're listening to this with, and we'll be right back with our answers.
Jesus is calling, open your eyes. No need to fear now, 'cause he's on your side. Just let go, and you'll find that he is everything you need. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for?
And we are back. So Kaleb, what is your favorite thing to do in the fall?
My favorite thing to do in the fall would be playing like football and all those outdoor sports.
Oh, yeah. Is football, would you say, is football the best sport? Is there a sport better than football?
Yeah.
Which one? What's better
Basketball.
than football? Basketball?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's inside? And it's always 75,
no,
72 degrees inside.
No, because there's like
rains.
other ways. You could play like street ball. You could play there's way more ways to play.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. I think my favorite thing to do in the fall is campfires. It's like a little chilly outside, and you have a little fire, eat some s'mores, drink some hot chocolate.
Yeah.
It's the best. As long as it doesn't rain. Then it'd just be smoke. Not that much fun. All right. Well, Kaleb, from our question from last week, what makes the best boys' night?
First person to fall asleep, you palm in the face.
Really? With what? Like with whipped cream?
No, you get so like you have a pie that you have already made with like vegetables, some of like the most disgusting stuff. Some of like the most disgusting stuff ever. And like fake dog poop, and then like splat it, and then they're like wake up and they're like, what is this?
You're like, oh, it's the nastiest pie you've ever seen.
Yeah.
And now it's on your face.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's pretty crazy. All right, well actually I think that has to do a little bit with our story from today about sleep. So we are in Luke 8. We've been going through the one-story plan, reading through the whole Bible, bouncing from story to story. And today we are in Luke 8, verse 22. So I'm just going to read the story, and then we'll talk about it.
Okay.
All right, so it says, one day Jesus said to his disciples, let's cross to the other side of the lake. So they got into a boat and started out. As they sailed across, Jesus settled down for a nap. So he's taking a little nap.
Yeah.
But soon, a fierce storm came down on the lake. The boat was filling with water, and they were in real danger. The disciples went and woke him up, shouting, Master, Master, we are going to drown. It was probably like this, Master, Master, we're going to drown. But it says, when Jesus woke up, he rebuked the wind and the raging waves. Suddenly, the storm stopped and all was calm. Then he asked them, where's your faith? The disciples were terrified and amazed. Who is this man, they asked each other. When he gives a command, even the wind and the waves obey him. So, Kaleb, give me like the short version. So tell me like what happens.
So Jesus they got in the boat. He fell asleep.
Yeah.
And they wanted to pass the river and go across. And they were like, oh, like water started flooding in.
Mm-hmm.
And they tried to like take it out with some buckets and all that. And then like after that, they're like, Jesus, we can't. You need to stop this. We're gonna drown.
Help!
Mm.
And then he wakes up, and he doesn't get a pie in the face. He just wakes up, and he's calls
like,
it.
And then he's like, "Where's you guys' faith?" Like,
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And so we were talking about too, Kaleb. You've been to the lake before, right?
Yes.
And you've done tubing.
Yes.
And the waves sometimes when you do tubing get really big.
Yeah.
And you go across those waves, you go flying in the air.
Yeah.
Now, could you imagine being on the boat, like at the lake, and someone, like there are big waves all around you, and it is like, so maybe someone's even out on the line on a tube, and the waves are getting crazy, and someone is just like, stops all the waves. He's just like, stop waves.
But yeah.
And it just gets calm. Would you be like, oh, that's pretty normal? Or would you be like, what just happened?
Yeah. I'll be like, what just happened?
Yeah, you'd be like blown away.
Like,
What?
when we go to Branson, our family goes to Branson every year, and like, we go rent a boat, and yeah, and when we go tubing, we just go around in circles, so then the waves get big and bumpy.
Yeah, choppy, yeah.
So then it's fun, and you can get people to like fall off easier and like more fun.
Yeah. It would be like if someone was going around making all the choppy waves, and then say someone like in a boat driving by was just like, stop waves.
Or
and they
no.
just stopped. You'd be like, what is going on? This is unbelievable.
Yeah.
I would probably tell them like, hey, could you do that again? You know, like.
Can you do that again?
Yeah.
Can you make them like go super crazy?
Yeah. Instead of making them stop, can you make them go wild? So that would be, if we were to experience that and be there like with the disciples, the boat is like flooding. There's water coming up over the edge. And it is like, we're going to die. This thing's going to sink. We're out in the middle of this lake.
Yeah.
We're going to die. And then they're like, Jesus, help! Master! Like, wake up! He's probably like a little drowsy, you know, like, okay. Stop. The winds, waves, stop. No, maybe he was like, did it just like that. Maybe he was like, stop. And
Maybe he was
that
like,
yeah.
and then it just stops.
Yeah. Have you ever woken up really early in the morning and it was like you wake up and then you like fall back asleep and you wake up again and you like start to fall back asleep and then you wake up again?
Oh, I done that at school. I'm like,
You're like,
I gotta
barely
stay
keep
awake.
My eyes open. Yeah, maybe Jesus was like that because Jesus was a human. He wasn't just, he is God, but he is also fully human. Like he got tired like us. It says he lay down to take a nap on the boat. So, all right, with this whole story though, what does this story teach us about Jesus? Like, how can we apply it?
That he's like mighty, and if you're stuck in the middle of sea and you're about to drown, just trust like that Jesus will like save you with like maybe another boat comes and like says like you need help, or luckily you get and you find some like paddles.
Oh yeah, can't forget paddles.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it could be like a literal lake, but it could also be like storms in our life. Like maybe you're going through a really hard time. You can call on Jesus to help you and save you from what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. All right. Before we end, what is a challenge we could give our listeners?
To read Luke 8 and if you ever get in trouble like that and have your boat stop, pray that Jesus will luckily have something help you.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, we can call on Jesus at any time. Like, we can call on Jesus in the car, at school, at home, at the lake, on a boat. We can call on Jesus all the time. And so, yeah, I agree. I'll add on to your challenge that maybe there is something that's going on that you just need to call on God and ask him to help you to do it. Just pray and ask God. Yeah. Because we can talk to Jesus anytime, right? Like, we can close our eyes right now and pray. Or we can pray with our eyes open, or one eye closed with the other open. We can talk to God all the time. So call on God if you are in a storm, literally or figuratively. So, all right. Well, that wraps up this episode of the podcast. Thanks so much for listening, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
I'll sing praise for you. I will sing for you. I'll sing praise for you. I will sing for you. I will sing praise. I will sing praise for all of my days. Yeah, I will sing praise. I'm gonna keep walking the way. Yeah, I will sing praise. 'Cause your love won't fade. Yeah, I will sing praise. For all my days. Yeah, I will sing praise. For all my days.
If you would like more resources regarding the One Story Plan, go to visitgracechurch.com/onestory. And if you'd like more resources for your kids, you can go to visitgracechurch.com/kids. We also have a YouTube channel, and you can find it by searching Visit Grace Kids on YouTube. If you like this podcast, we would love for you to like, subscribe, share, and leave us a comment. We'll see you soon.